Hello and welcome. Tonight we're going to do a Q&A with the questions that you guys asked me. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Nikko and I make relaxing beauty content. So if you're a fan of relaxing, soft-spoken ASMR and you want to hang out and chat for a bit and get to know me better, keep watching. So I have these questions written down on my laptop, so I'll be looking down and reading from there. So if you see me looking like this, that's what I'm doing. So we're starting off strong with a question from Dewdrop. Are you Canadian? I don't know why this question made me laugh, but I am not Canadian. I was born and grew up in Louisiana, so I am American. But I have been living in Los Angeles now for about 5 or 6 years, so I'm not really American, I am Californian. Next, Mrs. Mongoosable asked, I'd be interested to know what you do as a day-to-day job. Also, what channels outside of ASMR on here do you like to watch? So my day-to-day job is I am a social media manager and content creator for a clothing company. And when I say content creator, it's not like this. It's basically photo editing, video editing, some graphic design, making the ads, etc. I really love it, and I'm definitely thankful that I have this job. I learned Photoshop when I was like 12 years old, and later on I also took some photography classes in college. So doing photo editing and such is something that I've always wanted to do, so super grateful. However, since I'm constantly working on editing photos and editing videos and everything, after that it's like I don't want to make any personal work or personal content because I'm just so tired. But I find the time. I just washed my face and I forgot to put lip balm on. I wonder if I have lip balm in front of me. I don't. Also, I woke up with a fever blister the other day, but it surprisingly went down super fast. I've been taking like large doses of L-lysine every day, 3 times a day. It's really helping. But anyways, so yeah, I am a social media manager and content creator for a clothing company. That's my day job. And I've been doing that for about 5 years, I think. Yeah, I started right before I moved here to Los Angeles. That's why I moved here. And what channels outside of ASMR on here do you like to watch? So I love to watch Emma Chamberlain's videos. They are like my comfort show. I feel like I started watching her YouTube very late to the game. I've always been like pretty aware of her, but I'd never really like consumed her content. But as of like, I don't know, a year or two ago, I have just been like hooked on her videos. I watch all of her new videos when she posts them, and they're just like I said, my comfort show. I totally understand why she became such a successful YouTuber. There really is just something about her, and she's just really great at what she does. Okay, I had to go get my lip balm because my lips are so dry. And this is the Experiment software, by the way, my favorite. Oh, also, I've been using this 100% pure lysine and herbs lip balm. I've just been putting that on my fever blister, so it's probably another reason this is like healed so fast. It was like really bad the first day, and it's only been 2 days, so. If you're someone that gets fever blisters or cold sores, definitely look into this. However, it does taste like oregano. Like it tastes like you're eating pizza or like pasta. It's not my favorite as far as smell and taste, but I guess it does do its job. I also like to watch perfumerism. Emma, she's a perfumery student. I started following her on TikTok a while back, but I've been loving her long form videos. I love the way she describes and explains different things when it comes to fragrances. And lastly, I watch Erin Parsons. I wish she would upload more every time she puts out a video. I'm like these are my programs, I'm watching my program. She makes the best makeup videos, doing so much research and so much thought behind every video. I learn something new every time I watch her. I love learning about the history of certain makeup. She just does really interesting and educational things when it comes to beauty. Like, I love her deep dives on the history and secrets of like Marilyn Monroe's makeup and just like the different ancient makeup techniques and products. She really makes some great educational content. And yeah, I love her videos. Like I said, I wish she uploaded more, but I can see why she doesn't. There's so much effort that goes behind each of her videos, so I understand. And GGG Tool Fan asked, since you're an ASMR artist, do you have any favorite channels or recommendations? So I actually don't really listen to or watch a lot of ASMR. I do occasionally, and it's mostly from 2 different channels. However, I am open to suggestions on anyone you'd think I would like, but I mostly listen to Wood Soup Girl ASMR. There's just something so satisfying about mixing that wooden soup. And also I like to listen to Whispering Gentleman ASMR. I like to put him on as like background sound when I'm like getting ready to go to bed. And also in line with like the last question as well, it's not really ASMR, but every night I will listen to either Nicholas Wright sleep hypnosis and meditation, progressive hypnosis, or Gautam deep sleep hypnosis and meditation. But that one, I think they got like a new person, and so I haven't been listening. It's like weird to me when like a channel just gets like a new voice. I was gonna say face, but there's no face. Voice behind it. It's like, just make a new channel. But yeah, I love like sleep hypnosis. It really helps me go to sleep. Like sleep talk down, like body scans and such. Sunshine Riptide asked, what music do you listen to? Your favorite artists and bands? What type of movies do you like? Do you have a favorite makeup beauty brand and why? So as far as music, my all-time favorite artist is Lana Del Rey. Like usually when people ask me this question, what kind of music I like in a perfect world, I would literally just say Lana Del Rey, but I feel like I have to give more of an answer. But actually lately I have been listening to more than just Lana. I will put up a screenshot of what has been on my recently played. I've been listening to a lot of Lorde in anticipation of her new album, and I've been listening to the new album quite a bit. I love her. Been listening to Suki Waterhouse. She has a song, I think it's called Dream Woman, and it just reminds me of Ultraviolence by Lana Del Rey. If you have not listened to that album by Lana, it's iconic. And if you're a Lana fan, go listen to this Suki Waterhouse song and you will know exactly what I mean. Oh, I've been listening to a lot of Addison Rae, her new album. She is definitely a pop star in the making. Or, I mean, maybe she's just a pop star at this point. So, like, I listen to a lot of pop these days. I love Frank Ocean. But yeah, I go through, like, phases. I just listen to the same things over and over and over again. Right now is actually a pretty good little mix I have going. Typically, I'm, like, literally only listening to Lana. It hasn't always been that way. I used to really love Vampire Weekend. Yeah, I am not someone that like switches up my music. I stick to the things I like, and then I just like don't listen to anything else or give it a chance. I love FKA Twigs. Yeah, I don't know. I used to listen to a lot more music, but Lana Del Rey will forever be my favorite artist. She is a living legend. What types of movies do you like? So I love psychological thrillers. I love thrillers. Probably my all-time favorite is Requiem for a Dream. I also love Black Swan. I've been trying to like keep up with my IMDb account and like rate movies because I watch so many movies. Like I really can't keep up, and when people ask me like my favorites, I just go blank. Like my brain just shuts off and I can't remember anything. But I go to the movie theater like weekly, essentially. And whenever I have like a favorite movie, it's all movies from like when I was a teenager. There's something about that period of time where everything that like you consume just like makes such an impact on your brain, if you know what I mean. So like all of my favorites seem to come from those times, and I used to watch a lot of movies back then. So I feel like I don't know if they would still hold up in this point in my life. Like, would I still think they're as amazing as I did, you know? Let me see what I have on here. I'm gonna name the ones that I think would still live up. Like I said, Requiem for a Dream is like probably my all-time favorite movie. American Beauty. Good one I watched recently was Bring Her Back. Also Long Legs, that one was really good. I also really love just like aesthetically pleasing movies like A Single Man by Tom Ford or Her. Sorry, my upstairs neighbor is making so much noise, so I had to pause filming. Really don't know if I'm going to be able to continue this video because she's stomping and screaming. Apparently my building is taking legal action. We'll see if that actually happens. But like I was saying, I love aesthetically pleasing movies. Like the Sofia Coppola movies. I remember in high school I loved Gia Coppola's Palo Alto. But yeah, I really love watching thrillers and scary movies. Growing up, I hated scary movies, so I don't know what happened, but now thrillers and scary movies are my favorites. Do you have a favorite makeup or beauty brand, and why? So my favorite would probably be Chantecaille. I don't own any products by them at the moment, but when I used to work at Saks Fifth Avenue as a beauty advisor, I would always recommend Chantecaille. They just have super innovative formulas and everything is botanical based. And Chantecaille is a family owned brand from France, and they do a lot of philanthropy work and also donate to a lot of conservation efforts for endangered animals and different ecological causes. So I just really love what they stand for. They are pricey, but the products are just so beautiful. The formulas are gorgeous. Unfortunately, most of the stuff is not fungal acne safe, and now I deal with fungal acne, but they make my all-time favorite Holy Grail foundation, the Future Skin. They recently reformulated it, and I have not tried it, but it used to be like 70% seawater or something like that. It's such an interesting formula, and it's made in Japan. Most of their products are made in Japan or Italy, and they're super high quality. I saw that they recently came out with new shades of their cheek jelly. I really want to try this terracotta shade. It looks so nice. They also make, from what I remember, a really, really, really good tinted lip balm. And yeah. Also from my time at Saks, I loved Tom Ford Beauty. They make really, really, really great eyeshadows. Again, super pricey. Their Honeymoon Eye Quad is one of it's like my top 3 eyeshadow palettes of all time. It's just gorgeous. I also really love Maya. She's a makeup artist that's been in the industry for years. She makes lots of innovative unique products. You'll see me use the Industrial Color Pigments eyeshadow palette a lot. Also her lip balm and lip glosses, really great. I love everything Pat McGrath does. Obviously her eyeshadow palettes, but I've been a huge fan of her for a long time as well. Yeah, all of those brands are pricey, but if we're gonna pick favorites, it would be those if money wasn't an object. Rainbow Mag asked, do you have any dreams, future goals? I'd also love to hear about how you and your husband met too. So my dreams and goals. I would love to just be able to do this as my full-time job. That would be my dream, if I could make a living working for myself. That is my goal. We are extremely far from that. When I started making content almost 2 years ago now, I thought we would be a bit closer. I don't know if I'm even like 20% closer than I was when I literally just started. So that is just a dream at this point, but maybe one day I'd also love to have a house with studio space so I can make art and content. Also have a garden that I can grow fruits and vegetables, a rose garden. That's like all I want, and I'd be content. I just want to be able to live comfortably and be able to afford my rent without it being such a struggle. But bottom line would be working for myself comfortably inside of a house with its own designated studio space and a garden. And how did my husband and I meet? So it's like actually kind of embarrassing. We met on one of the gay dating apps. I mean, really, I should call it one of the gay hookup apps. It's like the worst one, Sniffies. If you are a gay, if there are any gays watching this, you would probably not believe that anyone would find their husband on Sniffies of all apps. But yeah, somehow it happened. I wish I still had like the messages from the beginning, but I don't. I mean, honestly, I probably don't want to even see them. It's probably embarrassing. CFKPX asked, can you do a video about your creative process where you draw inspiration from or your references? So most of the time my inspiration or the process starts with a product. I will have a product and build an idea around it. Occasionally I'll have just like a general idea of something, like the pastel eyeshadow look, for example, and then I'll just go on Pinterest and get some inspiration there. That's probably like my main source of inspiration. Occasionally I will see like a vintage ad or something, or like an old movie or TV show, and see someone with a look that's inspiring, but it's mostly Pinterest or like a fashion editorial that I'll see photos of, or a magazine cover. I love like an editorial makeup look, but most of the time I'll just have like a new product or something I want to try, and the look will just come from that, really. But Pinterest is incredible for finding some inspiration. Elaine Fernandez asked, what are some pet peeves of yours? Are you reading or listening to any books? Who made the first move, you or your husband, and what do you admire about him? What was your favorite subject in school? Have you experienced paranormal activity? So pet peeves. I hate when people say I could care less instead of saying I couldn't care less. When people spell definitely, defiantly. I hate when I see someone eating like Cheetos or like Doritos or something, and it's like on their fingers, and then they just like literally touch anything. It just like really grosses me out. I think that's like a sensory thing for me. I don't like touching those things to begin with. I mean, like, I do it, but like sometimes I'll use chopsticks if I'm eating Flamin' Hot Cheetos, just because I hate that feeling on my fingers. My husband will eat Flaming Hot Cheetos and like try to put his arm around me, and I literally jump back, and he always makes fun of me and thinks it's crazy, but it's just so gross, especially when people will touch their phones after. How are you gonna keep using your phone and wiping the Cheeto dust all over it? I just have a weird thing when it comes to food being on my body. I also don't like being touched when I'm eating. I know, I don't even know if that's a pet peeve or it's just a most likely on the spectrum thing. Oh, I hate when people send emails and they don't put a subject, or if they do put a subject and it's just their name. That really bothers me. Are you reading or listening to any books? So yes, I am listening to some books. I have not read a physical book in so long. It's actually sad, but I will show you what I've been listening to, as well as some of the books I've finished. So currently I am listening to The Secret Lives of Color by Cassia St. Clair. She basically just goes over the history of different hues and shades of all of the colors of the rainbow. It's interesting. I thought I'd be more into it, but I think I just haven't been paying attention. I usually listen while I'm working, and so sometimes I'm not really tuned into the actual book. I usually listen to my audiobooks when I'm doing my skincare or makeup, and while I'm cooking. I can definitely listen while I'm cooking, but while I'm working, I can't fully listen. But it is good. It's interesting. I'm also listening to The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine by Ilan Pappé. It's written by an Israeli historian, and basically talks about how the current genocide of Palestinians started, and goes over lots of the myths surrounding it, and just gives you facts. And it's truly disgusting and heartbreaking, but I think it's important to learn facts from experts, especially when there's so much propaganda and people feeding us all of these different narratives. Yeah, I'm almost finished that book. It's definitely a hard listen, but important. And recently I finished Coffee Land by Augustine Sedgwick. It's talking about the history of coffee growing in El Salvador and all of the socioeconomic consequences, I guess would be the right word, of that industry. I learned a lot from this book, and it's really sad again. I think you should definitely listen. I was gonna say if you love coffee, but I mean it's way deeper than that. Essentially, white people destroying the land and profiting for themselves while starving the native people. A tale as old as time. Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams. This one was so good. It's a memoir from someone that was a Facebook executive. She worked for Mark Zuckerberg. She basically has a tell-all, and it's really interesting. She's also a very entertaining writer. I really enjoyed this book. A Little History of Philosophy by Nigel Warburton. This was just a really great, quick overview of just philosophy 101, essentially. In college, before I dropped out, I was a philosophy minor, so I love philosophy. The Communist Manifesto needs no explanation. Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. This is a sci-fi novel. It takes place here in Los Angeles. I think it was written 50 years ago, and there are lots of parallels to today's world, essentially. I thought I was going to enjoy this a lot more than I did. I don't really read fiction anymore. I haven't in a while, actually. So I think that's also kind of a reason I didn't enjoy this as much as I thought I would. The System by Robert B. Reich. So good. Essentially, he just talks about the history of this country's, all the systems that go on in this country, and how it's all basically just rigged for rich people. Everything is just fake. Yeah, I'll just put up a screenshot of my recent finished books. Adrienne Marie Brown, I definitely recommend reading some of her books. She is an activist and an author, and love her writing. I think I read 3 books by hers, and I plan on reading all of them. Really inspiring. Her writing just makes me feel good and like gives me hope. As you can see, I love like political science books and philosophy. I love memoirs. These screenshots don't show them, but I used to read a lot of memoirs. I'm trying to think of like my recent ones. If I think of my other favorite memoirs, I'll put them up here. I can't think at all at the moment. Who made the first move, you or your husband, and what you admire about him? I don't remember. I think it was probably him though. Again, I wish I had the messages, but I don't. What do you admire about him? I admire his work ethic. He is essentially the opposite of me. He's a Virgo. I'm a Pisces. He's very type A. I am not. When he puts his mind to something, he gets it done. Yeah, I wish I had his work ethic. Like, I like to relax. He is just like always like on the go. Also, I wish I had his willpower to clean as much as he does. I hate cleaning so much. But like the way his brain works is like, it's just things that has to be done. So like he does them. I'm like so not like that. I wish I was. What was your favorite subject in school? Probably like high school, probably chemistry. And then in college, of course, my photo classes and philosophy classes. Oh, I also love psychology. That was actually like my first major. Have you experienced paranormal activity? So actually, yes. My family's like big on those things, like believers. But when I was in college, I lived in New Orleans, and at one point I lived in the carriage house behind a big mansion, and apparently someone, a slave that like was like the head of the other slaves, I forget the name for them, but apparently she lived there, and the previous tenants like told me like that it was haunted, like, and they told me about the woman. And like I didn't really believe it. This was also my first apartment that I lived like by myself without roommates. And I remember the first time I was like in the bathroom. The first time I like noticed anything, I was like in the bathroom. And I could like literally hear footsteps walking like from one end of the apartment to like the door of the bathroom. Like I could clearly hear like the footsteps getting closer and closer. Like it could not be mistaken for anything else. And I was like, absolutely not. But I went out there and was just like, hi, like I know this is your space. Promise I'm not gonna get in your way. Just please don't scare me. Like I'm gonna be as respectful as I can. And it was like terrifying. And then to add on to that, there were rats in the walls. So not only was I constantly like, was that like, am I hearing rats? Or the woman, I was just like, I can't do this, and I left shortly afterwards. I was only there for like maybe 2 months at most, I don't remember. But Lavender asked update on any questions from last time, if the answers changed. To be honest, I forgot to go watch that video again, so I'm not sure. And favorite cat breed, current guilty pleasure. Cat breed, Bengal. My cat Grizz is a Bengal. My mom has always loved Bengal cats. Also, I've always wanted a Sphinx cat, a hairless cat. Always wanted one of those so badly. But yeah, and tigers, as far as like wild cats, tigers are my favorite. They're my favorite animal. They always have been. Current guilty pleasure. Ooh. So I would say every weekend I get like $9 lattes. It's really so expensive for a coffee, but I've been loving these lattes from Opium in Koreatown and the Koreatown Plaza. And they also have these little financiers. I don't know how to pronounce that. Financier. And they're so good. They have all these different flavors. I've been loving the pistachio latte though. And also recently I got a strawberry matcha with espresso. Super good. But $9 is ridiculous. And like, it's literally like 3 sips and you're done. Like, it's all ice. I'm really tired of coffee places like not offering multiple sizes. I'm so tired of these like tiny cups full of ice. It's like literally 4 sips and it's over and it's $9. And so yeah, like I don't really believe in like guilty pleasures, but like I do. Like, I should feel guilty about buying these $9 coffees that are 4 sips. I'm like not joking. I'll order it and I'll go up the escalator to the 2nd floor and like I'll be finished my drink just in that time. It's not okay. I'll also just get a lot of pastries. I love pastries. I eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's every weekend, essentially. I talked about this fragrance in my last video. Again, this on its own, like, not a guilty pleasure. It's what happened afterwards. So, like I said, I got this for free on TikTok Shop because I really wanted it and I could get it free if I posted a video about it. But after I smelled this, I immediately went and ordered with my own money the Sniff Creme Couture Laundry Duo. It's the laundry detergent and the scent booster. And I also bought the Creme Couture body butter. So guilty just because like I don't need to be spending money like that, but I did. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you all enjoyed this. If so, we can do another one sometime soon. Maybe it'll be easy. If you do have any other questions, you can just comment them on this video and I'll come back to it. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like and comment. Click the little notification bell. It really helps the algorithm. Again, I appreciate you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.